Hello friends, today in this lecture we are going to discuss one important subtopic of electromagnetic induction, that is motional EMF, motional electromotive force. So this motional EMF it is one of the important topic in board exam as well as in competitive also. So please focus in this lecture properly. Now consider this arrangement in which actually these are called as rails, horizontal, these are called as rails, on which this vertical rod or conductor is placed, so that when this rod is moved with some velocity, that time what actually happens or how the EMF is induced across the terminals of this rod, that we have to discuss. So this is called as motional EMF. So motional EMF means what? When a rod is placed in a magnetic field and if that rod is moved with some velocity, in that case across the terminals of the rod we are getting some EMF, and that EMF we are getting, that is because of the motion of the conductor or motion of the rod. That's why this is called as motional EMF. There is another word for this particular motional EMF, that is dynamically induced EMF. Okay, statically induced EMF means what? In that case that rod is stationary, but in this case that rod is not stationary, it is moving with some velocity, and due to that movement of rod there is a EMF across the rod, provided that rod should be placed in magnetic field. Okay, that's why this is called as dynamically induced EMF. Okay, and another name is motional EMF. Clear? So what is the theme of this topic? That is motional EMF. Now consider a rectangular frame ABCD which is formed by the four wires AB, BC, CD and AD. Now wire BC is moved along the x-axis as we apply the force on it, and it moves with velocity v. Now what happens when it moves, wire BC moves towards right, that time definitely what will happen? The area swept by that rod changes or increases because this entire arrangement is placed in magnetic field. Now this rod is at this position, I am moving this rod towards right side, so definitely magnetic flux increases. Why? Because this x increases. Suppose the rod is at this position, so if I am moving this rod towards right so that it accommodates this total distance x, so it can cover maximum number of field lines, so that it can associated with maximum number of flux or maximum amount of flux, due to which what happens, there is a EMF is induced according to Faraday's law. So this is a concept of motional EMF in EMI. Now theoretically it consists of rectangular frame ABCD of wire AB, BC, CD and AD. These are situated in constant magnetic field. Definitely that magnetic field is uniform, constant magnetic field, and as the wire BC move towards right, so area of the loop increases, so flux increases, and as per the flux rule or as per the Faraday's law, there is a induced EMF across the terminals of the rod, which is equal to time rate of change of magnetic flux associated with that particular rod or circuit. Clear? Okay. Now this induced EMF expression, what is the magnitude of that induced EMF when that rod is moved towards right? The flux through the frame ABCD is given by flux is equal to B into A into cos theta, is a basic formula. In this case theta is the angle between area vector and magnetic field, which is 0, so cos 0 is 1. That's why flux is equal to BA only. Clear? Okay. Now this area A is L into X. Why? Because the length of the rod is L, this is a length of the rod L, and it is moving the distance x, as this is a rectangular frame, so length into breadth, that is area, which is L into x. That's why this phi is equal to BLX. This is the equation number 1. Clear? Okay. Now induced EMF is equal to d phi by dt. Why? As per the Faraday's law. Because the flux is time dependent here. As we are moving the rod towards right side, so definitely flux also changes with time. So as flux is changing, definitely that flux is cut by that particular rod. It means there is a change in the flux, and due to which the EMF is induced. So this concept we have to put into this formula, that is induced EMF E is equal to d phi by dt, where phi is a flux through that particular frame ABCD. So E is equal to d by dt of, after I am substituting the value of flux BLX into this, so E is equal to d by dt of BLX. I am taking B and L outside the differentiation because it is constant. So BL into dx by dt equal to E, and this dx by dt is nothing but velocity. That's why I am getting E is equal to BLV. It is the induced EMF across this rod. Clear? Okay. So definitely what happens, if this rod is open circuited, definitely charges are accumulated, that we are going to discuss. Okay, and this particular side of the rod is negatively charged. So across the terminals of the rod, I am getting what? Induced EMF. It means induced EMF means this rod acts as a battery. Okay, this rod acts as a battery, and its value of that EMF is V. So it is a fictitious battery in which the value of EMF E is equal to BLV. Actually we are fixing the battery here, but initially it does not act as a battery because motion of the rod is not started. When motion of the rod is started, then only EMF is induced. That's why it is motional EMF. Clear? Okay. So E is equal to BLV. Actually this E is equal to BLV, it can be also written as, if you want to know more, E is equal to B. Okay, E is equal to B. Okay, E is equal to B L cross V. It means what? In this case, it can be simplified as BLV sin theta. It means sin theta. Theta is the angle between this velocity and field. Theta is the angle between this velocity and B, that you have to remember. This is L. So E is equal to L B bar cross B bar. That's why BVL sin theta, and theta is the angle between V and field. It means if you observe carefully, this field is inward because it is cross mark. So field is inwards, and velocity is velocity is in the right side. So what happens if you apply the right hand palm rule to find out the direction of induced EMF? So what happens? Take the right hand in such manner that this finger points the magnetic field which is inwards, and this thumb points the velocity, motion of the conductor. Then this palm indicates the EMF polarity or EMF. It means in upward side of the rod, the positive charges are accumulated and downward side is negatively charged. That's why this particular rod is represented as a battery with polarity like this. So upper terminal of the rod is positive, lower terminal of the rod is negative. Clear? So this is the way to find out the direction of induced EMF during the process of EMI. There is another rule, that is Fleming's right hand rule, that also gives the direction of the induced EMF, that is called as VBI. Okay, in that VBI means if you are arranging the fingers of your right hand in such manner that the thumb indicates the motion of the conductor, then forefinger indicates the magnetic field, and the middle finger indicates direction of current. But if that circuit is closed, then you can talk about current. Otherwise, you can talk about EMF only, because for the flow of current there should be closed circuit. That's why also in Faraday's law we discuss EMF is induced, not we directly taken the word current. Clear? Okay. So in this way you can determine the polarity of the induced EMF using right hand or using right hand palm rule. It is easy to apply the palm rule rather than Fleming's rule. Okay, yes. It means this theta is the angle between what? B and V. It means this E is equal to BLV. It is a maximum EMF. Why? Because sin theta is equal to 1. This sin theta takes value what? 1. When sin theta takes value 1, theta is equal to 90. It means theta is the angle between V and B. It means the velocity and magnetic field are mutually perpendicular to each other. That's why the induced EMF in the rod is maximum, which is BLV. So the BLV is a specific case and BLV sin theta is the generalized case, or generalized sense you can say BLV sin theta. Okay, so if theta is 90, then it is BLV, and this theta is the angle between velocity and magnetic field. Clear? So whenever theta is 0, it means what? These V and B are parallel to each other. So if the magnetic field is inverse, then definitely you have to put the rod vertical only. Then only you are getting what? Maximum EMF. It means this field is like this, then velocity should be like this. Otherwise, they will not be mutually perpendicular to each other. If the field is like this and if your rod is keeping like this, then EMF induced in the rod is 0. Why? Because in that case theta is equal to 0 degree. Clear? Yes. So this is an important point. Okay. Now this induced EMF E is equal to BLV as theta is 90. Now there is another expression for induced current. So this particular frame is closed, so definitely current starts flowing through this loop, and that current, induced current, is actually I is equal to E by R as per Ohm's law. But sometimes we have to write I is equal to E upon small r plus capital R. This small r is the resistance of this particular rod or conductor. Many times in the paper rod word is used. Actually this is a conductor which is a part of the frame. So the small r is the resistance of the rod or conductor, and capital R is the external resistance which is to be connected. In this diagram I have not connected any external resistance, but if you want to use this formula, then definitely there should be external resistance. This is an important point here. Otherwise you may be confused from where this capital R comes. Actually this is the external resistance, and the small r is the resistance of the rod. And another important point, this small r can be utilized if it is provided in the problem. Otherwise you have to only take capital R. So this is the expression for induced current. So induced EMF BLV, induced current E upon R plus R, where small r is the resistance of rod or conductor if it is given in the problem, and capital R is the external resistance. Clear? So in this way we are now discussing the electrical effects of magnetism. Now we are dealing with what is EMF, then this current. It means these are the electrical quantities, but actually who is responsible for that? Changing magnetic field. So this is the electromagnetic induction, production of induced current by changing the magnetic field. Changing means derivative, that is d phi by dt. So this is about motional EMF. Okay, so in this part we discuss the motional EMF using Faraday's law. In part 2 of this derivation we also discuss actually how can we prove this induced EMF using some other concept. Now we are going to discuss part 2 of the motional EMF. Part 2 derivation consists of, again we have to derive the expression for motional EMF but using some different concept. Now look into this diagram which shows that this is a BC is the wire which are having length L, and it is perpendicular to the what? It is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Clear? Because wire is like this and magnetic field is like this, and we are moving this wire towards right side with velocity v, that we already discussed. Now when we pull this wire towards right side, definitely what will happen, there is a change in the flux because this is placed in magnetic field which is uniform. So due to that change in flux, so as per the flux rule or Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, there will be rate of change of flux, and corresponding to that we are getting the induced EMF across this rod or conductor or wire. Clear? Okay. Now, as I already discussed, whenever EMF is induced across the terminals of this rod or wire, what is the magnitude? BLV. Clear? How to find out the direction? Using right hand palm rule. Once again I am telling you the right hand palm rule. Take your right hand, and if the thumb of your right hand indicates what? Thumb of your right hand indicates velocity or motion of conductor. Thumb indicates motion of conductor. Then your fingers indicate magnetic field. Obviously it is inward. Magnetic field is inward. Cross mark. Thumb indicates motion of conductor. Then this palm indicates the direction of charge which is accumulated. So that the charge is accumulated on upper side is positive and down side is negative. That's why positive charges are accumulated on the upper surface of this conductor and negative charges are accumulated in the lower side of this conductor. Clear? Okay. As the charges are accumulated on this conductor and length of this conductor is L, and this conductor is moving because of this velocity, so definitely there the charges also in motion. Charge also in motion because this conductor is moving, so the charge is moving along the length of this conductor. As the charges are accumulated on the either side of conductor and positive charge is accumulated at this particular point and negative charges are accumulated at the bottom side of the conductor, there will be electric field is set up inside the conductor, and direction of electric field is always from positive to negative. That already we have discussed. Clear? Okay. So electric field is always directed from positive charge to negative charge. That's why electric field is set up in this conductor. Clear? Okay. Now one more important question that may be arise in your mind. Why electric field is present? Because as we know that inside the conductor electric field is zero, but it is applicable in electrostats. Here conductor is in motion, charges are in motion, so whenever it is in motion, that time electric field inside the conductor is not zero. Clear? So this conductor is not stationary, it is moving. That's why electric field is set up and it is directed from positive charge to negative charge. Clear? Okay. As the charge is present on this conductor which is Q, and electric field is present inside the conductor is E, so definitely it experiences a force. Clear? What is the formula for force? As we know that electric field intensity is equal to force experienced per unit test charge. So it is actually electric field. This electric field is experienced by this conductor, and force experienced by this conductor is F is equal to Q times E. This is the expression for force. So this force is experienced by this particular conductor. Why? Because charge is placed in electric field. Clear? Okay. So there is a presence of electric field. There is a presence of magnetic field also. Okay. Yes. Now definitely this particular wire experiences a force as this wire is placed in a magnetic field, and the charges are present as this wire is present in the magnetic field and the charge is present on this wire. So definitely what will happen? There will be another force experienced by the charge. So now I am going to give you another important concept. Whenever the charge is placed in a magnetic field, and if that charge, suppose there is a charge, if there is a charge Q, it is placed in a magnetic field, okay, and if this charge is in motion, definitely there will be what? Definitely there will be force. That force is proportional to magnitude of charge. That force is proportional to velocity. That force is proportional to what? Your magnetic field. That's why this force is actually given by this wire experiences a force which is called as Lorentz force, which is F is equal to Q V bar cross B bar. Clear? So this force experienced by the charge when it is placed in a magnetic field is given by QVB. It is a QVB means charge into velocity into magnetic field. F is equal to QVB, it is a magnitude, and in generalized sense it is F bar is equal to Q times V bar cross B bar. It means actually what? It means this force is perpendicular to both V and B. Okay, this force is perpendicular to both V and B. Clear? So this is a expression for the force experienced by the conductor whenever it is placed in a magnetic field and that conductor is moving and it is charged also. So first we have proved charges are accumulated on the either side of conductor. Then when the charges are accumulated, now we have written the formula for Lorentz force, QVP. So to experience the Lorentz force, conductor has to satisfy certain condition. What condition? First, that conductor should be charged. Second, that conductor should be, or that charge should be in motion. It should not be at rest. And third, there should be presence of magnetic field. Then only this QVB formula is applicable. If any one of the three quantity is equal to 0, then this Lorentz force concept is not applicable. Clear? So that particle should be charged, that charge should be moving, and that charge should be moving in a magnetic field. Then it experiences a force which is called as Lorentz force. Clear? So this is the force F is equal to Q V bar cross B bar. Okay, this is expression number 1. Okay, so you should note these all points. Clear? F is proportional to Q, F is proportional to V, F is proportional to B, and in which we are getting QVB. Now, as the charge is moving along the length of the wire, definitely, so the charge is moving along the length of the wire because conductor is in motion. So definitely work is done on that particular charge, and that work has to be done by the force, which is what? With force? Lorentz force. So that work we have to now calculate. So that work is equal to force into displacement. What is the displacement? This is a L, because that charge is moving along the length of the wire, so it covers a distance of L. That's why the work is equal to force into displacement. Again, important point, I have not written here cos theta component. Why? Because angle between force and displacement is 0. Why? Because force, this particular displacement of the rod is taking place in such manner that it is moving towards this side, and the force is also on the same side. That's why I have directly written force into L. Now, as I know that F is equal to QVB, but QVB, this is actually cross product of V bar cross B bar. So magnitude wise it can be written as QVB sin theta into L. From where this VB sin theta comes? It is a cross product. That's why theta, and theta is the angle between velocity vector and magnetic field. So in this case, velocity is right side and magnetic field is inside. Velocity right side, magnetic field inside. Velocity right side, magnetic field inside. So definitely what will happen? Definitely this velocity and this particular field both are perpendicular to each other. So angle between them is what? Theta is equal to 90 degree. So as theta is equal to 90 degree, so sin 90 is equal to 1. So it experiences a maximum force, that is QVB, and into L. So it is a work done. This is a force into L. So it is a generalized formula. It is a specific case when theta is equal to 90 degree. Clear? Okay. Now for maximum induced EMF, sin theta is equal to 1. What is the reason? That I already explained. In that case, theta is equal to 90 degree. Clear? Okay. Now listen, we have to calculate induced EMF. Now EMF, electromotive force, means what? Work done on a unit positive charge to complete one round trip or to complete closed circuit. Clear? What is? Suppose there is a charge q, then work done on this particular positive charge to move in a closed circuit, this is called as EMF. But if there is a charge and that charge has to move, then to move that charge, some work has to be done on that charge, and to complete a round trip, to complete one circuit, one cycle, or complete one journey of that charge, whatever amount of work done has to be done, or whatever amount of work is required on that charge, it is called as EMF. That's why this EMF is work done per unit positive charge. Okay, that's why this work done is equal to QVBL sin theta. So as this EMF is W upon Q, so after arranging the equation, you are getting E is W upon Q, which is equal to actually BLV. This is the expression for induced EMF that already we have discussed using Faraday's law. So induced EMF in the wire is what? BLV. Clear? So what is the concept we applied in this derivation? First important point, we proved charges are present on the either side of the conductor. Second, we proved these charges are in motion because the conductor is in motion. Third, these charges are present in magnetic field, so that rod experiences a force which is of magnitude QVB, and this force is Lorentz force, and that's why we have written F is equal to Q V bar cross B bar. And finally our task is what? We have to calculate EMF. So once we have calculated force, then we calculated work done on that charge. So work done on that charge is equal to force into displacement, but force was QVB and displacement was L, that's why work is equal to QVBL. Now we recall the definition of EMF, electromotive force. Work done on a unit positive charge to circulate it around a closed loop is called as EMF, electromotive force, and that is W by Q. So from this equation, whenever I am taking W by Q, I am getting E is equal to PLV. So this is the induced EMF in this rod. Clear? Induced EMF in the rod. And if we want to calculate induced current, then it is what? I is equal to E by R, which is equal to BLV upon R. That already we have discussed in this lecture only. Clear? Okay. Now one important concept I am giving, Lorentz force. Many students didn't understand the concept of Lorentz force. What is mean by Lorentz force? Now listen here. Whenever the rod is placed in a magnetic field and it is moved towards right side with velocity v, it experiences a force of QVB. This force is due to magnetic field. Definitely if charges are present on the either side of the rod, there is a presence of electric field also, and that electric field is directed from positive charge to negative charge. So definitely what will happen, that rod experiences two forces. One is due to electric field, other is due to magnetic field. Force experienced by the charge when it is placed in electric field is given by Q times E. Okay, and force experienced by the charge and that charge is moving whenever it is placed in magnetic field is given by Q times V cross B bar, which already I have discussed with you. So when we add these two force, that is force due to electric field, this is actually what? Total force F is equal to force due to electric field plus force due to magnetic field. So this is called as total force experienced by the rod, and this is called as Lorentz force. So whenever the charge is placed in the magnetic field and it is moving, it experiences a magnetic force as well as it experiences an electric force, and due to that two forces, when we add this, F is equal to Fe bar plus Fm bar. that time total force we are getting, which is called as what? Lorentz force. That's why directly I have written here F is equal to Q into bracket E bar plus V bar cross B bar actually. From where it comes? Q times E bar means actually Fe, force due to electric field, and Q times V bar cross B bar, it is actually force experienced by the charge when, and that charge is in motion and it is in magnetic field, it is force due to magnetic field. So addition of these two will give me total force, which is called as Lorentz force. So we discuss what? Lorentz force here. Clear? So final concluding remarks I am giving you. When magnetic field is changing, then electric field is induced. This is important concept actually. When magnetic field is changing, time varying magnetic field will give us electric field. So initially electric field is absent, but magnetic field is present. How? Listen here. Initially rod was present inside the magnetic field. Magnetic field was present. Electric field was present. No. When electric field is induced, when I have started rod to move towards right side. So there is a cutting of flux, change of flux, due to which Faraday's law, there is a induced EMF, and due to that induced EMF, their charges are accumulated on the either side of the rod. And now as the charges are present, definitely that charge will experience a force due to electric field, and that electric field is directed from positive to negative. So it means initially which field was present? Magnetic field. Later which field induced? Electric field. That's why here written magnetic field is changing, then electric field is induced. So only presence of magnetic field is not sufficient to induce electric field. That magnetic field has to change, and that change has been brought by this motion of the conductor. Clear? So in this way we discuss the one important topic, motional EMF. Clear? So in this lecture, first I discuss the motional EMF concept, then I derived the derivation of EMF, that is BLV, using Faraday's law, and in part 2 of derivation I applied some important concept, that is charge placed in magnetic field, and if it is in motion then it experiences a force, and finally there will be EMF is induced, electric field is induced, and when both the forces are present along the rod, that time we define one important force, that is Lorentz force, which is addition of force due to electric field plus force due to magnetic field, which is total force. And finally I concluded with, whenever the magnetic field is changing, electric field is induced. Clear? So this is about the electromotive force. So please review.